Hi everybody, welcome to Crafting with Kelcey. My name is Kelcey. I'm a City of Flin Flon rec programmer, and today we're going to be making some adorable little dream catchers. Okay, I highly suggest you check out the sheet that came with it, not only to reinforce the weaving patterns, but also to kind of learn a little bit about the dream catcher. You know, it has a huge cultural significance. Okay. A little bit of housekeeping before we start the craft. Make sure that if you are leaving a message to get one of the next craft kits, that you leave a message with your name and address and how many craft kits you want. Okay. I'm more than happy to accommodate you, but I need to know where to drop them off. Okay. That all done, let's get started. Alrighty, so step one is we're going to separate out our pieces. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully push and pull and wiggle this center cardboard piece out from your outer ring. Trying to be really careful because I don't want to accidentally break this outer ring. This is going to be the outer ring of our dream catcher, so it's pretty important that it stays intact. We're also going to separate out these feathers. Once again, careful, we don't want to wreck them in any way. There we go. Now this piece, we can just set aside. We're not going to be needing this piece. Okay. Now the fun part, we're going to get to decorating. I'm going to start with my outer ring. You can use any type of decoration you want. Me, myself, I'm going to be using paint for the outer ring and pencil crayons for the feathers, but it's totally up to you based on what supplies you have at home. So I've protected my work surface with a piece of paper. So I'm going to just squirt some down. I really suggest if you are painting to protect your work surface. That way you don't have to be as careful, which I always like. I'm not the type to, paint slowly and carefully. I like to get her on there. I'm using acrylic paint, which is really nice because it looks like it's only going to take me one coat to get a nice color, which is always exciting. It's rare in crafting scenarios that we get to do only one coat of paint. All my other projects I did like 3 or 4, sometimes even 5 or 6 coats of paint to get a nice color. But with cardboard and acrylics, this is being a dream, going on easy and nice and bright. Awesome. So one thing with painting you want to make sure is that you see how some, can you see? You see how some of these little holes are clogged with paint? I want to make sure that it doesn't dry that way. So I'm going to take a point. For me, it's just going to be a pencil crayon because that's what I have in reach. And make sure that all the holes are empty. So all the holes all the way around, you can see right through them. Wipe off my pencil crayon. Okay, we're gonna let this dry. While it dries, I'm going to start decorating the feathers. So for my feathers, I've decided to go a more non-realistic route. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to paint the bottoms, color the bottoms white. And then I'm going to give them different rainbow tips. And I'll add some detail as well. If you wanted, you could Google or just go by memory different types of bird feathers that you've seen in the past. And you can try to recreate them. But I'm not too worried about realism. I just want them to look kind of cool. Hopefully they look kind of cool. That is yet to be determined. If you guys hear the scribbly sound of the pencil crayon, I love that scribbly sound. I'm going to put a line down the middle, kind of showing the center vein of the feather. And I'm going to add some darker brush strokes, some darker pencil crayon marks to show the strands of the feather going outward. Okay, and I'm going to grab a lighter gray just because the white won't show up for those details. And I'm going to add some feather marks in there as well. Okay. I'm going to decorate these all the same way, so I will decorate the other two, and I will be right back. Alrighty, so when you're coloring the feathers, I do suggest that you color both sides, just because if you want to hang this, there is a chance that they flip back and forth. Okay, but I'm all done my feathers. What I've done now is I've taken this outer ring, I put it with its pretty side down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to number these holes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So I've numbered all these holes. Next up, I'm going to get my needle and thread ready. Okay, Kelcey from the future here. I know in our video we haven't started weaving yet, but I forgot to mention something that I think is super important. If you want beads to be, in the middle of your dream catcher, as you're weaving, before you go through the next hole, just add a bead on, and then when you pull it tight, it'll be along the string that you would like it to be. Also, if you ever start on the front or the back when you're supposed to start on the other side, it's not a huge deal, but you'll just get a little loop like this loop here. Nothing too ugly, just something to keep in mind. Alright, so I've grabbed my needle and thread, and I'm also grabbing a bead. Any of the beads, it doesn't matter which one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first string the thread through the bead, and I'm going to tie it off. I'm going to tie it a couple times just to make sure it's nice and secure. Okay. And this is going to be what stops it from going all the way through. Okay. Then I'm going to take the other end. If I can find it, there it is. Okay. I've left my thread really long. If you want to cut yours down, you can do so. Just with me being on video, I want to make sure it's not too short and that I have to stop the clip to start over. So, next up is weaving. There are many different patterns you could use. There's actually a few listed on the set of instructions I've given you. Okay. But I'm going to be following the basic one. Bear with me, guys, because this isn't a pattern I could memorize. I'm reading it off my sheet. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the back. I'm going to find the hole that I labeled 7, and I'm going to stick my needle through and pull it all the way till that bead hits the back. Remember, yours doesn't have to start out this long because you might get tangled like I am up in here. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find the hole you marked 3. So that's over here. I'm going to double check 3, and I'm going to stick the needle through the hole and pull all the way tight once again. I know this string is a little bit messy, but it's okay. It cleans up pretty easy after. Then I'm gonna flip it over again. I'm gonna find the hole that says 11. I'm gonna poke it through and pull all the way through. So the first hole we went through was 7, then we went through 3, and now we're going through 11. Okay, and you can see this bead is helping it stay nice and tight. After 11, we're gonna go back through the 7. Okay, so we're on the top this time. This is nice and easy to see because we've already gone through the 7. There's the 7. We'll go back through the other side. Okay, so we're starting off with a nice triangle shape. The longer your string is, the more likely it is to get tangled. So just be really careful because there is a point at which it's too tangled to save. I had that happen when I was trying to package this string for you guys, so just be very careful. Okay. After 7, we're gonna look and we're gonna find the 2. Okay. We're on the back side, so we can go in from the back side. I'm going through 2. If you do get confused about the numbers, guys, don't worry, they're listed on the instructions as well. And you could also just weave it however you thought looked pretty, right? This is your dream catcher. You can do whatever you want with it. So after 2, we're gonna find the 9th hole, so that's over here. We're at the top, so I'm going to go in from the top. Just double check that's 9. Yes, it is. And we'll pull through. Oop, my needle came undone. That's okay, easy enough fix. That's one nice thing about this needle is that it's pretty easy to thread. Usually threading needles is the bane of my existence. I had so much trouble with the owl kit. I would have to actually turn off the camera and spend a couple minutes just trying to get it through. It was not the funnest part of the project. There we go. Quick and easy. I'm all re-threaded now. So after 9, which is the one we just went through, we're gonna go through 4. One all the way through. Beautiful. After 4, we're gonna go back through 11. Oh, I almost made a mistake. We're up through the front, so we're gonna go through 11 through the front. I'm always double checking that I'm going through the right hole, just because I'm a little paranoid. And I do want to create the exact pattern so that you guys have something exact to follow if you do so, please. But if you're making it for yourself, you probably wouldn't have to be so careful. Oh my goodness, rat's nest! I'm always tangling up string. It's awful. I'm making a mess. Okay. Sometimes making a mess is the best part of crafting. Awesome, there we go. It's already starting to look pretty cool. After we go through 11, we're gonna find the 6. We're on the back side, so we're gonna go through the back side and through the number 6. If your thread is shedding, guys, don't worry, that's normal. My thread is shedding too. After 6, we're gonna go through 1. We're on the front, so we're gonna go through the front side and through the 1 hole. bumped you guys. Can you still see? Awesome. Alright. After the 1 hole, we're going to go through the 8th hole. So we're on the back. We're going to go through the back. And through number 8. Alright. After 8, we're going to go through 3. So 3 is one we've already gone through. We ended up on the front side, so we're going to go through the front side of 3. That one's 3. Turn her over. And blow. Okay. After 3, we're going to go through 10. 10 is up here. So guys, I really suggest that you read through the little booklet included with this kit, because there is a little bit about the cultural significance of dream catchers, you know, especially, oh, excuse me, especially living in the north, right? Dream catchers have a lot of value and a lot of meaning for everyone here, but mostly the indigenous people. Originally they were made with willow hoops and sinew. That's pretty cool. Okay, after 10, we're gonna go through 5. So here's the 5 hole. We ended on the front, so we're gonna go through the front. I'm sorry I keep bumping you guys. I recently moved offices, so my recording setup is a little bit different than it was at my old office. So I'm still getting used to it. So bear with me if you get bumped or can't see that well. We will get it fixed. Okay, that was 5. After 5, we're going to go through the 12th hole. So the 12th hole is up here. We ended on the back, so we're going to go through the back. Beautiful. After 12, we're going to end back at our 7, and this is actually the final string of our pattern. Oh, we started in the front, so I'm going to go through the front. There we go. Look how beautiful it turned out. Okay, so for my dream catcher, I want to be able to hang it up after. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back through the hole. I'm just using the 7 hole because that's where we ended off. But if you use a different pattern, use whatever hole that pattern had you end off on. And this time I'm going to leave a loop. This loop is going to be to hang it up. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it off. I'm going to kind of scoop through here just to make sure it's got some good stability. And I'm going to tie it into a knot. There. You could do a few knots if you want, but with this project it's pretty light, so I'm not too worried about it coming undone. There. So when we're all finished, we'll be able to hang it up, and it will hang like so. You guys see? It'll hang from the little hoop. Okay, next up I'm going to add some feathers. Okay, so for my feathers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my feathers and string it through. This time I want to let the thread double up. You're going to decide how long you want this thread to be. So I'm going to use this to kind of visualize. I want them to hang down a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a little bit of extra space. And because I've left mine really long, you can just cut it off. If you didn't leave yours as long, you could leave the needle attached to help make the beads go on easier. So you're going to take your leftover beads, or you can use as many or as little as you want, and you're going to push it through. You're going to keep going. You want to make sure that if you're filling this all up with beads, that you leave enough that you can tie it through. I think I'm going to do 3 beads each side, but I've given you guys enough that you should be able to use as many or as few as you like. If you're having trouble getting it through, like I am, don't worry, you can use the needle. I just gotta separate it from the bit I cut off before. The needle makes things easier because it's super easy to thread. And then you can just boop your beads right on. You might have to pull a little bit to get it through. The holes of the beads are like just the same size as the needle, so it does take a little bit of pressure. So there's my 3 beads. I want to make sure my end is free and it's not caught up in the needle or the beads. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of these holes at the bottom, string it through, and then I'm just going to tie some knots. Okay. What I'm going to do so it doesn't pull all the way through is I'm going to grab another bead and tie it on just like we did at the beginning. If you wanted, you could skip that and just tie a whole bunch of knots, but you're going to have to tie quite a few so that it doesn't just pull all the way through. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, I want the other side through as well. If you guys are new here, you don't know it yet, but I hate tying knots. It's one of my weaker skill points. I just undid what I did. There's a little frustration, guys. Don't worry, it'll be worth it. It's gonna be so cute. And you probably won't have as many struggles as me, because I got lots of struggles to spare. Okay, I'm going to try that again with a little bit less struggling. So what I've done is I've pulled both ends through the bead, and I'm just going to tie a knot with the bead kind of in the middle of the knot. Oh, yeah, there we go. I got it. So now when we pull it through, we'll have one of our feathers. And then you can see. I might have to show you guys a farther away shot of this project after, because I like my leaves to hang down a little bit low, which makes it kind of tall and hard to get all in frame. Sorry, I keep bumping you guys. And you're gonna repeat that for your other 2 feathers. Thank you guys so much for crafting with me. I hope your dream catchers turned out just as cute as mine did. All right, this is so cute. I hope you had a good time. Watch the City of Flin Flon Facebook page because I do have more craft kits coming out. We're actually planning to do one once a week. So give us a call to book yours. Okay. Stay home, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Bye.